Hello everyone, it's Carol with Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo. I'm here to finish up the tags. Hopefully my computer will cooperate this time and not overheat like it did last week. So when we left off last Monday, we were working on October, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. Are you ready? So I think what we'll do is go ahead and get started with our background, the October. Hi, Carol. Josie, is tomorrow your birthday? Hi, Shar. Good looking group of people we got here today. Bubby? You have a new nickname, Bunny. Bubby. Okay, so we put that one down. And then on the original one, I'll show you the original tag. This is the original tag, and we're changing it up just a little bit for this one, because I didn't have this piece here. So we decided to use the other one. And so I'm going to put everything on chipboard now. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Mac. You like being Bubby Bunny? It's like my second name of Carl. Hi, Linda. So the pumpkin time that goes up on the top, we're going to back it with purple to begin with. I'm just going to glue it down. And today, if we make it far enough, we're going to play with our Misty. And once again, when I line these up, I line them up so that my mat, the image that I'm trying to cut out with, is lined up just on the edge of my paper trimmer. That way every side is the same. And every now and then I can eyeball one of the corners and it turns out okay, but not all the time. I think I need new glasses some days. Okay, so now these three pieces, the two stamps that we did last week, we backed them on orange. And then this piece, we're going to put them all on chipboard and cut them out. And I save all my itsy bitsy pieces of chipboard that I use. That way I can not have to cut into a new sheet for these little pieces. And once again, my favorite for paper to chipboard, the adhesive I use is the Pioneer glue stick. It gives me a little wiggle room so that I can move it around, but I've never had it pop up off of it. And I just put my pieces on a scrap piece of paper. That way the glue doesn't get on my table. Is Ash lurking from the car? Is she on the road again? I don't know if she is or not. Her back's been giving her fits. Yeah. See, Mac? There's a use for them. I'm not much one for saving scrap papers. I tend to... Actually, what I've been doing is I've got a couple of girls that live next door to me, and they used to come over when I'd clean my scrap room, and they'd get the paper out of the recycle bin that we shared with them. And when I found out that that's what they were doing, then I just started putting them in a bin, and I take my scraps over to them, and they use my scraps. And every now and then they will surprise me with a card or something that they've made from them. They're so cute. Okay. Oh, hi, Teresa. Glad you're lurking. I also saw a message on Facebook the other day from one of my friends, and they were looking for craft supplies for the school for the rainy days. They were running low on supplies. And so since I had just cleaned my room and purged a bunch of stuff, I thought that'd be a good place for it to go. So I'm meeting her this afternoon to take her a big box of supplies for the school. And you know, if you guys ever purge and don't know what to do with it, instead of taking it to Goodwill or donating it, you know, your local elementary schools would absolutely love to have those scraps. Most of the teachers end up having to pay for those kind of materials themselves. So anytime that they can get anything donated, it's like gold to them. I know, because my brother and his wife are both teachers here at the local elementary school. Hi, Teresa. You popped on. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a good inking. So what's new with all you ladies? June Marie. Oh, you get to see Xandra? Is she coming up to take Jim's class? Oh no, Carol. Snow again? I'm a big advocate on helping teachers. Okay, so we've got all these done. Let's go ahead and get them in place. So the pumpkin time, we're going to put up on to the top here. Because we all know that October is full of pumpkins. Oh, you're kidding, Carol. 72 on Saturday and snow on Tuesday or Wednesday. That just doesn't sound right. And then these, I'm just going to offset them so that they don't cover the words. Can you guys see okay? How old are your granddaughters, Linda? Okay, so that's where they go. And then last week, we had made our flowers using the Tim Holtz tattered flower and one of his other ones. Oh my! Those are busy ages, Linda. 15 months and 2 months. At least the 2-month-old still sleeps quite a bit, doesn't she? So the flowers, we're just gonna... Oh, you know what? I think I need to pop them up since I put them on chipboard. 3 dogs. Gosh, I can only hardly handle 1 dog. Who can handle 3? Okay, so let's go ahead and just use some foam squares. Okay, Janny, you are mod. So you can put, oh, do we have links opened? They are now. Okay, I think we're all set. Okay, so popping these up with foam dots works a whole lot better. Okay. And then I just have some gems. We all have gems. I know we do. We used to buy them by the dozens. So we're just going to put some gems in the middle of the flowers. Sure. Let me see. Is that better? Is that better, Benny? Then I'll lift it up too, so you can see it. I know, I need new glasses. Sometimes I think the adhesive for these gems wears out the longer they sit. They don't want to come off the paper. So just add a little glue to the center. Okay, and then I just put a little piece of purple back behind the pocket to separate the 2 orange colors. And this is just part of the cut apart sheet that I wasn't using. Hi, Patty. Tuck it down in there. snuggle it up toward the corner, press it down, and there we go. There is our October page. So now let's get started on November. And there was September. So this is our November page. These tags are, let me measure them real quick. I think they're 5.5 by 10.5. I don't know, what were you saying, Heather? Well, that's always fun, Patty. It's always nice to have dinner with the family. So, this is our November page. And I went ahead and covered it. I don't know, June Marie. I'm working on that. I have a little box, one of the Graphic 45 ATC boxes that I'm working on. So I'll see how that comes out and see if that's what we want to do. Or we might do some cards. Or we might work with some of the new products that are coming in. Hi, June. So, okay, so let's get started with this one. All my little bits and pieces. And the first pocket that we make, we're just going to cut this piece right in half. So we're going to cut it at 3 inches. I hear you, Patty. And once again, we're going to score them at a 1/4 inch on each end, and then a 1/2 inch on the bottom on both of the pieces. And make sure that your stripes are going up and down when you lay it down. Okay, and then we're gonna take our Fiskars scissors. I got more back in stock. You guys bought them all out the last time. So they are back in stock. It doesn't take me very long to get these. They are my favorite. They're just easy to handle. And then we're going to cut the top corners off too. Guys still there? What do you guys want to work on next? Heather, you were censored. Are you cursing again? So we're going to fold all our corners in and apply our score tape to the pieces. Oh no! My trim tool is missing. Who has my trim tool? Oh, I found it. It's hiding back there. Oh, Patty, I'll have to post pictures of those on the Facebook page. Banners are always fun. So the husband took me out for dinner Sunday night for my birthday, and it was my choice of places to go. So we have a place called Bob's Burgers and Brews. And so we went down there, and as we were sitting in the booth, Dan says, "Did you know that the God, what do you call them? The people that seat you? The hostess was stabbed in here not too long ago?" And I said, "What? That's crazy." He said, "No, really." He said, "I heard it on the news." He said, sounded like a patron or something was mad and just started stabbing the hostess. I thought, well, gosh, I wish I'd have known that, because then I wouldn't have come. Okay, so this one, the top to it is 3 3/4 inch up. So I'm just going to lay my ruler here so I can see. And then I'm just going to put the top of it right there. Oop, hang on, gotta ink it. I know, so I came home and I looked it up because I really didn't believe him, because usually I hear the news or something. I know, right? So anyway, when we got home, I Googled it, and sure enough, it was a patron, I guess, and it was on January 1st. Happy New Year, right? Okay. But she's going to be okay, and they arrested the lady that stabbed, and it was a lady that stabbed her. So this one is about 2.5 inches up on the next one. I know. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Patty. I think there's just more media. I don't know. People are crazy, though. It's like more and more people, I think, feel like they're owed something. It didn't say whether she had been drunk, but I assume that since she was being asked to leave, that she was probably in the bar and a little belligerent. Okay, so there's our 2 pockets. So then out of the cut apart sheet, I took a little piece of the edge and cut it off. See, it's just me. And then a little piece of the border sheet, and we're going to put it across the tops. Well, and too, since we're, on Facebook, we see things instantly too with the news feeds, and I know, it seems crazy. It does. It just seems like more and more people are being shot, or you hear about it. And no, Heather, he's just coming in to see who I'm talking to. He's not used to this. She's talking to someone and it's not me thing. So just run my tape runner along this one, and this one we're going to put right along the top. And I didn't leave a border, I just put it right across the top. No, I made sure that he had gone out before I started. I know, I've thought of that too, Patty, just getting rid of cable TV, but I don't watch TV much, so most of mine that I hear is either, on Facebook or, and that's probably it. People posting. So this other one we're putting on the bottom, and same thing, we're just going to run it right across the top. I know. Okay, and then we can just turn it over and trim off the excess. I know. He gets this thing. We've got these feral cats that are around here. And he has, and I'll post a picture of his bench on Facebook, but he has a deacon's bench that we have put a rug on for him to sit up, and he can sit up and look out the window. And he will see this cat walk up the sidewalk there in our house, and because he's got part beagle in him, he starts into this hound dog howl. And I mean, he just goes nuts when he sees that cat, and it's like almost he's dying. Okay, so we're just going to put that down, and then we have a few of the little sayings that we have. Oop, I already backed this one. Be thankful. Well, we're not going to use that because I have the other one. Okay, so need to grab some scrap paper. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay. Hi, Donna. How's that new grandbaby? She's so pretty. I saw the pictures. I don't see how many people are on, so I don't know how many people are on here. So the three that we have that we're working with is the laughed often, live simply, and love much. And I really like that because those are three of my favorite sayings. I have that around the house like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So we're going to back them all in green first. Well, I'm just glad you're all here. Oh, 36 are chatting. Maybe it's not counting me. Maybe it's counting me as a chatter but not as a viewer. What do you think? We'll give that as an explanation for it. I didn't eyeball these very good. Can you guys, oh, you can't see me cutting these out because I moved too slow. I'll move my trimmer up so you can see. I'm sure you're very interested in watching me cut things. Yeah, we shouldn't complain about Ustream because I find that the moment I do, it gets a whole lot worse. It's like they're watching me. So Ustream, I love you. I love you. You're wonderful. You're marvelous. You know, it's, can you imagine the, Dan and I were talking about this the other day, the things that, you know, like his mom and dad and my mom who are still alive, all of the changes that they have seen in their lifetime. I mean, because they started out with outhouses, no indoor plumbing, no cars, and the technology now, for them to even fathom that, you know, because his mom and dad, they're on Facebook, so we can chat with them, and I mean, they're just still amazed with, you know, that technology and being able to have phones and computers and you know, we laughed when we watched Back to the Future and they were talking about hoverboards. Well, look what we got. I mean, they still need some work, but we have hoverboards. This one doesn't want to cooperate, so it's just going to get chopped. I'll have to look out for it, Bunny. They didn't have it at CHA, which surprises me, because June Marie and I stopped in there and we were looking at the at their scissors and their thick material punches, which, by the way, I love those things. but I didn't see any new trimmers. So I'll have to check them out. Well, you know, a lot of people have had trouble with the guide that was in here. And after they had sent me 3 replacements for it, the guy finally said, well, you know, it's just a guide. It doesn't have anything to do with the way it trims. I said, no, I didn't. He said, yeah, you can just take it off and it'll be fine. Yeah, that's true, Danny. Yeah, I'd probably end up killing myself on a hoverboard. My husband doesn't even like me to walk on the upraised curbs because he thinks I'm going to fall and hurt something. Sparkles with glitter, huh? I'll have to check it out and see what they've got. Well, I can see if I can get those tonic ones, you guys. You want me to check into those? Yeah, I find that they're not that precise either. But, you know, I've gotten to the point in my age, I'm just looking to get it done. I'm not looking at perfection anymore. If I can just get a task done, then I am doing good. So you guys, I keep going off a screen. Sorry about that. Did they get banned, Donna? I hadn't heard that. I just know that there's been an awful lot of fires with them. Boy, that'd be awfully big to have on your desk, Linda. Okay, so none of these are popped up. Oh, darn. You know what I didn't do? Well, maybe we'll just improvise on this one. On this piece, I had put a piece of green, but this is already down. So I think we're just going to keep going. I missed that. I don't have a extra piece of green for that. So, well, hang on. I'm going to cut just a little piece and go ahead and put it on there. So on this one, see, I have a little piece of green solid, which looks much better. So we're gonna cut this piece at 1 inch by 5.5. I'm so excited. Our graphic 45 is going to arrive tomorrow. I know. It's been a long road. But they just did start shipping them. It doesn't look like the children's hour is in there, which I'm really surprised because they put it up for pre-sale before they did any of the other ones. Okay, so I'm just going to snug this one up to it. And it looks like the same. Don't you think? I've never tried the Stampin' Up! One, Benny. So this is one of the tags off of the cut apart sheet, and I just fussy cut it around it. And that's what we're going to use. Punch the hole out. And go ahead and ink all your edges. I grab a piece of ribbon. And this is just some orange sheer ribbon. I believe we have this in the store. Thread it through to make a loop. I have the Rototrim for my chipboard, and then I just use this Fiskars one. I used to have the old gray Fiskars one, and that one was really bad. Pull it tight. I'm just going to trim it down. So we're ready to assemble all of this and be done with November. So on the November part, I put the Live Simply. And then over here, we did the Laugh Often. And then down here, we've got the Love Much. And then out of some of the leftover orange piece, I took the Tim Holtz Maple Leaf Punch. And just punched out 3 of the orange leaves. And you know, you can add detail to your leaves just real simply. Ink the edges of them. You know, there's just some papers out there that no matter what you do, they just fray at the edges. I don't know what it is. There's certain paper lines that just fray. So on my leaves, just real gently, I'm going to take one of the tips off of my scoring tools, and I'm just going to run it down and take it out so that there's some interest to it, I guess you'd call. It's just a little something. Make the veins in them to make them look a little more real. And then I'm going to make them stickers. How many of you have the little Xyron sticker maker? I use mine all the time. I know, these leaves are great. This is a great punch. I think I like all of the punches that Tim Holtz has put out. I haven't met one that I didn't like yet. And then we're just going to add our leaves to the edge. Be careful when you're peeling this off. Because they will tear. And a lot of times these little sticker makers will leave some sticky, so I just take my glue eraser and just rub it over top of it, and it takes all the stickies off. Okay. Then we're going to add our tag. I know I'm going to have to change my tape runner before we get done here. Add that. And I'm going to find some gems. It is June Marie. I use it all the time. And then the nice thing is when it gets gooey, I just take and either peel it off, or there's sometimes it'll get really gooey, and I'll just take my scissors and trim it. That's probably one of my best tools ever. So I've got some little orange gems. And I do it in 3s. And put them across there. And our November tag is done. So, let's flip it over and get busy on December. So I think the first thing that we're going to do on December is I use the Heartfelt Creations Sparkling Poinsettia dies and punch, or dies and stamps on this one. So let's go ahead and make our poinsettias first before we get everything else going. And for time purposes, I went ahead and cut out the poinsettias. And we still have some of the sparkling poinsettia dies and stamps in the store. And this one is a little bit different than what they normally do. These dies are all attached. So it comes in just one big piece, which is great. But when they show it, they have you stamp and then line your dies up and cut them out. And since the Misty tool came out, I find that I do it just the opposite. It is a little bit easier for me to do it this way, and if you guys will watch, you will see why. And I find this the easiest way to do any of the stamps that have dies with it. Can you guys see okay? So what I've done, and the stamps for this one too are all on one sheet, so they don't come apart. So I have taken a sheet of white cardstock that's 6 by 8.5 and put it in here. I love the Misty. And I am just going to ink up my stamp. And I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to make sure it's in the corner on my white piece of paper that will leave the image. And you don't want to move it. And that's not really going to matter. It didn't show up here. Now I could go back and restamp that, but since I'm just going to be lining my my stamps up with it, or my die cuts up with it, I don't need to go back and do that. If it doesn't show up on the other one, then I will. soon as they're available, I will order. So I put a little bit of tape on the back of my die so that when I put it down, it'll hold it in place. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to line the die up with the stamped image and just press it down. And I'm going to go back and do that for all of the die cuts. Just put a little bit of tape on the back end of it. And sometimes you have to spin it around to find the right one. And then just cover it up. There's not going to be much of a border, so pretty much if you get it to where you can't see any of the stamped image, it's going to be good. Yes, you can. I'm not sure if I would ever use the smaller one myself. The little one is good. Okay. So same thing with my little dots. And it's like a puzzle putting them in here. But once you get them all on there... Oop! Hang on. I don't want the red ones. I want the green ones. You know, the 12 by 12 ones are just about $100, Donna. I just kind of went, oh, really? So I'm kind of wondering if they will come down in price. But yeah, I just kind of gasped when they told me what the cost of that one would be. So this takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. You know what I like about it is when I do thank you cards, I do, 50 or 60 of them at a time. Okay, so we have them all on there. Yeah, it is. It's, I think, $49, because this, I'm not sure what the cost is. So we're gonna get a lot of ink on our stamp. And here's the moment of truth. Voila! Can you see that? Those lined up just perfectly. And they're all a good image, and they're good to go. So now you can just pull them off. And now if you were doing multiples of these, you could just continue, like if you were making your Christmas cards and you wanted to put poinsettias on all of them, you just leave this in there and just continue to add your die cuts on top of them and stamp. Add your die cuts, stamp. Add your die cut, stamp. But I wouldn't remove the paper or the stamp until you were all done. I know, isn't that just amazing? I would leave it on there, and then that way you can go back and just do more and more and more. Exactly, Carol. I mean, you could do a lot of them and then just put them away. That way you've got it all lined up and ready to go. Okay, so let's work on the rest of the stuff with the page. I'm really trying to figure out how I cut this one. So be patient here with me for a minute while I take a peek. So I'm sure they're just the opposite. Okay, so it looks like I just left on this one an inch. So I'm going to mark this paper with just a little tick mark, if I can find my pencil. At an inch. And then it looks like down here I also left an inch. Okay, so then we're going to line up our tick marks. And cut it at an angle. Okay, so that's that one side. So now from the opposite side, because we want the green to be the opposite way, we're going to mark over an inch. I'm just going to use my an inch here. And then an inch down here. And then we're going to stick it out the opposite way. And cut it at an angle. Bye, Teresa. So on these, we're going to, I was just reading the chat, sorry. Yeah, you want to always make sure that your cardstock is tucked in. So then we're going to do the same. We're going to do the sides at 1/4 of an inch. And the bottom at 1/2 inch on both of these. Oh, you know, that doesn't look right. It doesn't. Oh, maybe it is. We'll go with it. Actually, let me see. Yep. So we're going with 1/2 inch on the bottom too. And that's not one to line up. There we go. So that would be the top. Quarter, half, and 1/4. Okay. And once again, we're going to cut the corners out. Yeah, we'll work with the Misty some more on shows, I'm sure of it. Because I like to do a lot of stamping. Margaret. Now. And I like it for, because, you know, I got all those dies that had stamps with them, and I could never get them to line up. When you stamped them and then you tried to line them up with the die, and I just could never line them up. So this way, I can cut them out first, and then I know where I want them to be because I stamp them first, and then I put up the cutout on top of that image like that. Okay, so we're going to add our score tape. You can do it that way too, but I find if you stamp it on a piece of paper and then just put your die over the top of the stamped image, you don't have to put the negative on there. So it is a great little tool, and especially if you're doing a lot of repetitive stamping too, like you're making cards and you're stamping the same image over and over and over again on the same piece of paper. You just put your paper in and you know where you want your image to be. You just lay the stamp on top where you want it placed. And then too, I'll do some, I've been working on the masking technique that you can do with it, where you mask part of a stamp off and stamp over top of it so that part of that image doesn't show up. You guys know what I mean? Okay, so let's get started on our pockets here. We're almost done, girls. So we're going to put the red one down first. And it's going to go all the way at the bottom. Go ahead and give it a little ink here. And, oh, we're going to line it up at the bottom. Not exactly, but it's close. Can I live with that? I can live with that. This has been fun to do. So you guys can say, Carol, we've had enough of you. You don't need to stream anymore. Or you can follow me if I do some more projects. Okay, so now we have our crisscross pockets. And you've got pockets on both sides there. Even more. So across the pockets, I just cut out this from the cut apart sheet, and we're going to put it down here to where it hides where the pockets come together. You know, and you could even make cards ahead of time and tuck them down in the pockets all ready to go as a reminder that you need to send out birthday cards. So we're just going to start this right down here, and you're going to put this piece right where the pockets meet, right there in the corner. And just glue it down. Oh, great. So I didn't bomb out on my first project. You know, when you do this, you always wonder, cow, will anybody watch me? Would they like what I'm doing? I'm sure we've all faced that. And, you know, then I follow someone like Ash, who's a pro. Okay. So we're going to I'm going to try and I did another tag on this one because on this one I'd taken this out of the chipboard sheet. Now if you have the chipboard sheet and want to use that, it is the cardinal. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Okay, so it's a little cardboard, it's the little chipboard piece that says Winter Wishes. But since we didn't use the chipboard in the project, for the most part, I went ahead and picked out a tag that I'm going to use instead. And I think I'm going to move it over a little to where it covers more of the red part over here. And let's see, we're going to back our other ones with red. And I'm going to use the words Very Merry and Christmas. I know, Rainy. You can't go wrong with Graphic 45, especially a collection like this. There's really, I know you just kind of look at it and say, well, what am I really going to do with that? But this seems to be the perfect thing because it's something you can keep up year after year after year. Okay, time to change my tape. I knew it would happen. Never fails. I will keep streaming Char. Oh, come on, June Marie. You're not going to do a show? Well, Carol, the way I look at it is who's better to sell the stuff that's in the store than the person who has the store, right? I know what needs to get sold. I know what's coming in, what's going out. I always have to look at my cheat guide. So that way I can do that. And still working with Ash and Gwen, and Ashley and I are concocting something new, so keep your ears open. As soon as we get it figured out, you all will be the first to know. Okay, we're back on the road. Donna Berry is working now. She has always, or for a long, long time. No hints, Bunny. No hints. Because we're not sure exactly what it's going to be. We're just starting the process. But Barry has always wanted to be in real estate. It's just something that she's always enjoyed and everything. And so when they went through the process of selling their house, she had an opportunity come up for her to do the schooling to get a real estate license. And so she asked me if I would mind, you know, for her to work toward that, which I was really proud of her for doing. And so she went and did all her studying and got her real estate license, and now she's working for a wonderful company. She's doing well, and she absolutely loves what she is doing. I mean, Barry loved doing the ordering and stuff, but, you know, it was never quite as fulfilling as, you know, working with people and giving them something like, you know, a home or, you know, that type of thing. So she is really, really thrilled with what she's doing. Every time I talk to her, she's just even more excited than the last time, and I'm just so proud of her. So she misses everyone, and it's keeping her hopping because she's still helping David with their main business as well. But, I mean, she's doing an amazing job and loving every minute. Yeah, she, you know, and I have to say this, is Barry has dyslexia. And so reading and studying and everything is twice as hard because you see words backwards and things like that. And so for her to be able to, you know, do so well on her testing and get it done so quickly like she did, it's wonderful for her. So I'm going to put the Very Merry up at the top. Ooh, I hope I can pop that off. I forgot to ink. Ugh, I did. So, and of course you can't get away from the phone. But I'm just going to let it go. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I know it's not my mom because I had talked to her just before I started the show. And then we're going to put the holiday time, or Very Merry Christmas, down here. Bunny, I will tell her that you miss her. You know, she's still on Facebook. I don't know if you friended her or not, but I think she checks it every now and then. But I will definitely tell her you all miss her. She does miss you guys, June Marie. She does, she does. She has told me so. And so now we're going to put some pearls on here. And these are some of the half-back pearls that we have in the store. I just have a lot of different sizes. I'm going for the big ones. Going for the big ones. She is under Barry Matthews. Thank you, Donna. So friend her and send her messages. I'm sure she'll love that. And these pearls I'm going to put on with a little glossy accents. I have been collecting them for a long time. Well, I don't know if most of you know this, but I used to have a brick and mortar store here in town. And when the economy started to tank and the gas prices went up and sales started going down, we decided that we were going to go ahead and close the store. And it was so sad. It was so sad. I don't miss the hard work, but I definitely miss the customers. So we're going to go ahead and do our poinsettias. We're going to give them a little shape, and we're going to do that the same way that we did the other flowers. We're going to take the largest ball on our tool, and we're going to turn all of the poinsettias over onto the back. And we're just going to start rolling the ball around. Can you guys see that? I'll zoom in a little bit more. I don't know if it's my mat or this, but I'm just going to roll the ball around the leaves just to give them a little shape. We need to get Janny streaming to show us how she does all of her beautiful flowers. Yeah, I do have it in my house. When we closed the store, I didn't start my store at the house. And it was just probably 2 months after we closed the store, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And so, since I wasn't working, I was able to be with her for all of her cancer treatments. And she went through surgery, and I was able to be there through her entire recovery. And we spent 5 years going to the doctor constantly with checkups and that kind of stuff. And after 5 years, they cut her loose and said, "You are cancer free." And so now I spend every Wednesday with her, helping her with her housework and things like that. But during that time, I was working part-time for another gal that had an eBay store. And I was doing listings for her. And that was something that I could do at home. I could work at it at my mom's while I was staying with her after her surgery and that. And the gal that I was working with, she wanted to sell the retail part of her store. And Barry had been working with her as a wholesaler, you know, buying products from her. And so she sold Barry the retail part of the store so Barry could sell it on her eBay. And during that time, then Barry came out here to help pack up the product and things like that and ship it to Hawaii and that. And I met her through this gal. And she had asked me if I'd be willing to help her with her listings and things like that, because she would be a little overwhelmed with everything. And so I started working with Barry doing her listings for eBay. And as we got to talking, she said that she would really love to get rid of the eBay store because of, you know, the high fees and all of that kind of stuff, and that she'd just rather open up just a regular online store. And so between her and I, we started to look into it, and that's when we opened up Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo together. And it worked perfect because, you know, with being an online store, we could be in 2 different locations and still work together. So that's my story of how I met Barry and how we started working together. Okay. So I'm done shaping them. I am going to go back over them because I want them to be shiny. And I'm just going to shine them up with my Wink Stella. So I don't know if you can see that. The shine that the Wink Stella puts on it, and it's glittery. You're welcome, Bunny. And Barry and I will continue to stay great friends. I still call her and ask her questions, and we're still trying to get everything transitioned over. But so far, so good. You guys are keeping me busy with orders and all that kind of stuff. And basically, I just I have to have the store so I can pay my health insurance. Just something that still totally upsets me, but that's the way it is. It's gotten to be so expensive that companies can't provide it for entire families anymore like they used to. And so I have to have my own. So the key to the Wink Stella is to keep it shaken up so that you keep the glitter mixed up, and not to squeeze it too tight because you'll get it dripping, and just let the brush do the work. You guys do keep me busy. And I am starting to get inventory down to where I'm not overwhelmed or it's not pouring into all of the other rooms in my house. And mostly what I'd like to do is just keep the more popular products, of course, the Miracle Tape and Score Tape. Miracle Tape we've been out of for a while, but I will get on that. I've got to get that account switched over and stuff. But the tape and glues and the more popular dies, Tim Holtz, of course, and some of the other Sizzix ones and Heartfelt Creations, and just keep more of the stuff that people want in stock instead of trying to bring everything in. I don't have that kind of room, and I really don't want to get that big to where there's just too much. So I'd like to keep it small and enough to allow me the time to spend with my mom and help take care of her, and to be able to pay my insurance and maybe have a little bit of ha-ha money. So that was stickles that I used on those. Those are my two favorite things. I love stickles, Rainy. Yes, you probably could, June Marie. In fact, you probably do. That's a thought, June Marie. Okay, so on the green ones, I also have a green stickles pin. Yeah, but the cost nowadays to ship to you, shipping has gotten to be outrageous. Our cost of shipping, you know, because we have to pay for it coming in, just like you guys have to pay for it going out. So we feel your pain too. And it's hard for the little guys to stay in business, because we face all of the higher costs that Michael's and Joann's and Hobby Lobby and all of those don't face. They get the advantage of buying in bulk and distributing it to all the stores, to where we don't have that. So I'm going to take and stack two of my poinsettias together. Yeah, it really is. Luckily, you know, we do with a lot of our customers is, especially international customers, is they will just continue to order until they have a flat rate box full, and then we ship to them, because they can save money by filling up a flat rate box. How'd you, Marie? So I'm going to zoom back out a little bit now that we're done. So I've just stacked one of the smaller ones up on top of that and just pressed it in. I used my glossy accents. Then you can go back and just give it a little more shape after you get it glued together. Push it up and around and get it all formed like you want. And then I'm going to add the centers to them. Oops, that one's not sticking for some reason. Well, let me add the center first. Has he decided on which things he's doing, June Marie? Yeah. Well, we do find it. You know, when I had my my store, it was back when they brought out the first Cricut, the original one. And it was through We Are Memory Keepers. Or is it who it was through? No. Who makes the Cricut? Provocraft. And in order for the independent stores to sell the Cricut, we had to sign a MAP, which is a manufactured suggested retail price, and we had to agree not to sell that item for less than the MSRP, which is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. So we went ahead and signed the agreement, and I ordered in a lot of them and pre-sold the Cricut. And the week that they were released to the market, Joann's and Michael's had them on sale for 50% off as a promo thing for the first time. And so all of those Cricuts, I had pre-sold probably 25 of those Cricuts. And every last one of my customers came in and canceled their orders because they were able to get that at 50% off from Michael's and Joann's. And I was left holding the bag on those products, which did not thrill me at all. And so I promptly called up Provocraft and asked them to please come and pick them all up. And I mean, that was just so unfair. You know, we had to sign that agreement, but yet that's what the big box stores are able to do that we aren't able to do. You learn a lot when you're in retailing. You know, a lot about the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. And so now I have my poinsettias on. They're all shiny and glittery. They did pick them up, and they refunded my money to them. I was absolutely furious. You know, and my customers were apologetic, but like I told them, you know, I can't blame you. If I had the ability to go, and I mean, we still face that now. We still face that now with Joann's and Michael's, and you know, we still compete for the business, and I can't blame the customers. So that's why I've decided that, you know, everything that we sell will stay at 20% off in the store. It's the best I can do, you know, without giving it away. But and hopefully it will provide some loyalty from the customers to us. So I just took some Prima glass beads. They sure did. They aren't hardly... No, Bunny, I think what you're talking about on that one is the We Are Memory Keepers. And that was just last year. When we went to CHA, they had the 1, 2, 3 punch board that they were releasing. And so we placed our order at CHA, and they were going to be released in March. Well, what they didn't tell us was that they were going to be released in March to HSN, and we wouldn't get ours until August. So that really made it hard. So of course, there again, we'd placed our order at CHA and ended up canceling them and sending them back because everyone bought them at HSN. So, you know, there again, you get the smaller people get the short end of the stick on things, but you know what, it's not that I'm complaining, because I have great customers. I have loyal customers. I have amazing people that support us, and you know, all of you are right here on this show, and a lot that aren't. Yeah, Rainey, I just try to set myself apart. You know, something a little special with each order, because I appreciate everything you guys have done for both Barry and I through the years. You guys are like family to us. So I'm going to add... Bye, Margaret! See you probably later this week. A little... Hey, and I even finished up early. There is our last tag. You know that, and I think people appreciate the fact that we don't just charge them a flat rate of shipping. And we have to explain it to customers quite often as far as why we do that. But that way, you know, we can charge exactly what the postal services charge. And we do add 75 cents to the domestic orders and $1 to the international orders. But that's just to cover the cost of our tape and our envelopes and some of the fees that we pay on things. So, all right. So now we have all of our tags done. Maggie lives here in Washington. She's in Gold Bar. So anyway, that's the last of the tags. I hope you have enjoyed the show. And I will try. Hang on, I'll be right back. UPS is here. Now you'll get to hear the hound dog. Right here, and then I have one for you.
Here you are, and this one's for me?
That one's for you.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, did you hear the hound dog? Well, I appreciate you guys. So, and you always know, it's always a great thing. Yes, I love UPS. So, I will come up with something next to do. Gwen will be back next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then I will be back the following Tuesday. I will find something. So you guys take care. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate your love and support. And we will talk to you soon.